February is African American Heritage Month here in the United States. Black History Month. Oh my goodness, see, I'm already making mistakes. It's Black History Month, and from the African American Heritage Club, I was mixed up my stuff there. We want to welcome Annie McCary to the program. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
So,
absolutely.
Where did the whole beginning of African Black History Month kind of start off? Where did we get this from?
It started many years ago. It was founded in 1875 by a historian named Carter G. Woodson. And because he loved history, he wanted to make sure that Black history was taught in the school system. So he created a Black History Week where Black history could be taught in the schools. And it moved from Black History Week to Black History Month. So now we celebrate Black history for the entire month of February.
Okay. And you just had the parade this weekend, right?
Absolutely.
Over in Santa Ana, right?
Yeah, it was the 45th, I believe, annual Black History and Unity Festival in Santa Ana, and it was amazing.
Did you walk, or were you in the back of the car doing one of these?
I was in the back of the car with some other members, and we did the wave.
What's the importance of bringing this history to the forefront and having a month that says this is going to be our focus?
The importance of it is so much of Black history has been left out of the history books, and so it's important to have an opportunity to celebrate the contributions of Black and Caribbean Americans and their contribution to America.
Okay. When you were growing up in school, did you remember like what you learned about African Americans along the way, or was it very sparse? I remember it being very sparse. I remember Martin Luther King, George Washington Carver Jr., peanut butter and things like that, right?
Yeah. And when I was growing up, sadly, I was pretty much in an integrated school system throughout my junior high and high school years, and there was very little Black history taught. And the Black history, unfortunately, that I learned was not in a positive way. So I didn't get a lot of Black history contribution.
Okay. So what do you like to do with the Heritage Club in terms of kind of putting it in the forefront here in Laguna Woods Village?
In Laguna Woods Village, the club was actually founded by Dr. Fran Williams, and the idea was to celebrate our heritage. And I always like to say this: we don't celebrate skin color. We celebrate our heritage, which means our food, our dress code, our music. All of us is included in our heritage, and so that's what we celebrate. And in addition to the people that made major contributions to America. And
when you talk about things like culture and food, especially, so much of it comes from the plantations and what the food that was kind of like, well, we're not going to eat this, we'll give this to the slaves of the plantation, and you had to make something of that, and it's become this whole cultural kind of celebration with the foods. But at first it was this is just the stuff that we're not going to eat, kind of thing, or the secondhand foods, right?
Yes.
So that's an interesting kind of like way to think of like how you can turn something like that into a positive, and it can still be this cultural celebration today.
Absolutely, and a good example of that could be like chitlins. Because the slave owners didn't eat the chitlins, and so they were tossed out or given to the slaves, and so the slaves figured out a way to make chitlins a very, very appetizing meal.
Well, I remember the first time I ever had brisket. And brisket, so one of these things you have to smoke it, and all these things just to get it tenderized. And I had no idea it had come from the culture of the African American community as one of those things that the plantation owners didn't eat. It was one of those throwaway kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the main reasons why we celebrate, Black History Month in the contributions for, what the blacks, back then we were called blacks, our contribution to America in food, agricultural, aircraft, all of the areas of our lives that are so prominent, we don't even think about it, had a lot of deep roots in the African American contribution.
Right, aviators in World War II, Tuskegee Airmen, and all of these folks that are amazing stories that just, you never heard about when you were growing up. What do you think people maybe get wrong about African American History Month? is there something like, oh, well, why do we need a month, or what's going, why can't we just, whatever that might be.
Why can't we just all get along?
Why can't we all just get along? One of those silly things, right?
Well, yeah, and I think people get wrong that if we don't celebrate our contribution, then it continues to be ignored. And it's not that our contributions want to get rid of anything else. It's an integration of all of life.
There's always room to learn more.
Exactly.
In my mindset, it's always like, well, this is interesting. This is, who knew this thing? So to be able to shine a spotlight on that, for 1 month is kind of an amazing time.
Yes, absolutely. And what we're doing for this month at our club meeting, we're celebrating one of those trailblazers, which is George Washington Carver, who had over 300 inventions just with foods alone. And so we're going to be celebrating all those contributions.
Run through a couple of them.
He like shaving cream. He invented, 300 different recipes for peanuts. He didn't invent peanuts. But
I know that was the thing. You invented peanuts. I'm like, I remember as a kid. No, that's not what happened.
No, but he invented so many different ways.
The uses and
like
oils
peanut
and butter.
And yes, and peanut milk, because even back then people had allergies to regular cow's milk. So he invented, the peanut milk.
Now, why did you decide to focus on George Washington Carver?
Well, because he had so many.
And prolific. He's almost like the Thomas Edison.
Yes, exactly. And some of it would be for clarification, because I used to thought he invented peanuts, but I thought it was, crazy that he would invent something. But, so he's known as a peanut man.
Right.
And so we would highlight all the different things that creations or inventions from peanuts.
All right. It's going to be on the 17th. Tell us where and when people can go to help be part of the celebration.
Part of the celebration is going to be at Clubhouse 5, Room 1 on Saturday, February 17th at Clubhouse 5.
Sounds like a good time. Open to everybody?
Open to everybody, absolutely.
Peanut butter sandwiches?
You know what? That's a thought.
I think we got something there.
Yeah. And also we're just, next weekend is our fundraiser where we're hosting the Delphonics Review.
Yes, the Delphonics. We had a couple of the players in here a little while back. That was fun. Those guys seem fantastic. For you guys, it's on the 10th. So make sure you get out to the Delphonics Review. That's going over at the Performing Arts Center, right?
Yes.
Tickets still available?
Tickets are still available.
Okay, fantastic, because those guys are fantastic, and I know they're going to put on a great show.
Oh, absolutely. We're really, really excited about it.
Andy McCary from the African American Heritage Club, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll be previewing this Monday's movie. Stay with us.